Here's tablet.
You're done holding court. Well, okay, so
Yes.
this thing needs to be done Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, we have a little more time than that, like maybe into the weekend or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they want me to try and have it done by Friday. Trying to get it done today. It's looking bleak.
Mm.
Would be cool if I borrowed your laptop Friday to use at my dad's place.
Yeah, totally.
And in support of that, can you either set me up a profile or like get it to where I can add my fingerprints to the base profile or whatever the heck after you finish the import?
I will have to figure that out, but I will do my best.
Cool. I meant to ask that a bit ago, but I really let me to the bathroom.
Chat monitor is still starting up. Hoop-a-doop-doop-doo. Oh, is Bridge working? I'm sure it is, but... Don't need to be watching myself live there. Anyway, hello, Internet. It is 2:07 p.m. on Thursday, October 29th, 2020. I'm Mark Amsry, DJ Amstrack, and I am holding court here on the Throne of Games. Today, I will be continuing Shadowrun Dragonfall, which it's been a couple weeks since I've touched it. I'm not entirely certain I remember what was going on. I remember chunks of it. I know I told that guy from the lodge to get bent. And I also got hired by a former Aztechnology person to sabotage something that Aztech was doing. Because she was horrified by it. I don't remember if we finished that mission, though, or if I was just in the middle of it. We shall find out. And I will start it up as soon as I can see the chat on my tablet. Chablet. There we go. And also while I'm at it. Very good. Let's begin. Come on, XSplit. There we go. Well, that's just one leveling or 50, 60, 70 roulette to make that happen. My neck. Okay. There were also those things. Let's do this one first. That one was more of a side quest. This one was more of a side quest. Lower stakes. Your client has hired you to tie up loose ends on a site at a site of a botched cloak and dagger operation. One of the operatives from the failed mission has been captured by knight-errant security forces, and it's only a matter of time before he talks. Your job is simple. Kick in the door, find the operative, and put a bullet in his guts before he can spill them. Probably don't need more than one advanced drone repair kit. At least not on this mission. So you like jazz? All right. Let's go. Oh. I do. I only have 2 karma. I can't spend that on anything. I mean, I can, but it's not worth it. The reception area of the Sharing Pharma AG lab, it looks normal enough. The synth leather couches were obviously designed more for appearance than for comfort, and the blue steel walls are gently illuminated with energy-efficient recessed lighting. All in all, it's a perfect example of typical corporate design sensibilities. Bland, generic, and safe. An overturned houseplant is the only sign that something might be amiss in the lab ahead. You ready for this, fearless leader? According to what Herr Fuchs told us, this entire complex is going to be crawling with hired security. I'm guessing knight-errant, but we'll see. It's going to be a hell of a fight. We can handle it. Get ready, people. Get ready, people. Open the door. Open the door. Get on the floor. Everybody, walk that dinosaur. And there's 2 guards. Get in there and go spinny with your razors. Watcha! Nice. Seems like an unlikely hit, but, this is close quarters enough, and with Glory there, her shotgun isn't going to... or is going to be kind of risky, rather. Drac, they're back! Intruders! There we go. Nice. Yeah. What? Oh, why does it take two? Oh, because he has to be on the other side. Got it. Okay, so that's not the side that I want to be on when doing that. What the heck?
Okay, it's about to get done with the background.
Oh. Meeting time. Ah. Apologies.
Okay, what I can't say for guinea pig?
There we go. Oop. Alright then.
Yep.
Ow.
Oh, that was gonna be that's one where that number mutates. Actually, I put the file that's the increment and updating the SFTP script. There's a problem. If that is going to continue functioning, it's going to need to be SFTP and to get SFTP to work, it needs to be running under a different user profile than the user with. with objects showing those users. Thing is, I don't know how to change which user is. Oh, we're not using passwords here. We're using RSA key files because SFTP doesn't like passwords. SFTP doesn't like passwords, actually. Yeah, it'll do passwords, but it prefers to use public key authentication instead. And when running in batch, it won't take a password. It wants that key. I've made that key and sent it to the server guy and for other things running. The reason to do the correct user is that SFTP looks in that user's as their key file .sh. That's not going to exist for Shadowrun or Harebrained. So I think what needs to happen is that until I really menu options, and that runs the CL. I think the CL is going to need to call a batch driver, just to get started. So, I hope. CL programs are where I started from, actually. Oh, actually, I started from the FTP command source file from there. And that is what I'm working with. I'm actually making new CL programs and working with the old FTP. Because it's like a good thing. There's a thing you have to do both. For instance, those two are, I believe, yeah, they're transmits. So what you have to do is you have the FTP, or you change the FTP so that it puts the file out on IFS, and then you run the SFTP, which transmits the file from the IFS to the IFS.
Before I progress further into this lab here, excuse me, I need to go record my life, so I will leave you with an advertisement to ignore. Be right back.
for the ones that don't need changes to...
Alright.
I use it for the ones that run automatically, just map shops. Those just need to be changed from programmer to UHS once I'm set. And trying to get them to do something as simple as that is like quarantine. Sorry, I was looking at the thing Nancy sent, which looks like it won't do anything. Return user profile user and then pass it on to a Java. Yeah, it's just telling the Java class what user it is. It doesn't change the user.
The body on the table looks like a janitor. His chest and stomach appear to have been brutally torn open.
Well, I've got my fingers deep into circuitry, so I can run them in ways that won't hurt anything. I've already done stuff like the CMod files and also an old W2 file from 2018. But yeah, it's like you may have to come from garage. Especially considering how little time I have left. I know, I think that they're doing that at 6 in the morning. They were doing it in the evening, like at 4. That was fine. That's nice. I have a problem with that. Doing it at 6 in the morning like jerks. Yeah, I thought they were doing it at midnight or something, but no, that's when they're starting their part of the night. And not having us started validation until 6. Which is why. Because I'd be happy to validate it like every night. 2 in the morning. I love it those times. At 6. If I tried, I would probably fit. Yeah, there's really not that much for us to check. Like, we can check this for 100 servers. We can check PeopleSoft, which timesheets are working. We can check on Cherwell. And honestly, not much else. There are a couple of things that I'm able to check on because I have them handy, but yeah, other than that, there's not much there. The programming things is all pretty tightly involved. I mean, just like poke into PeopleSoft. still a big old hiccup on the network that when you say you try to look at your leave or something, it's going to implode.
Nice.
He needs to be there at 7:15. Trouble is that has me up around 5. Which means I'm gonna need to do crazy things like take a nap for a couple of hours and then stay up from, I don't know, 3 on or something like that. Because I can't just get up. Nice.
What?
Anyway, it's fairly complex, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if most people need too much help here. Okay, thanks, bye. Some of them do know how deep in the weeds I already am.
Nice. Okay. Ow. Yes. Just run right past the sniper. What? Why can't you go that way? grisly scene. The body on this operating table has been torn to pieces. The dual arms of an autosurgeon are the obvious culprits. Drek, what happened in there? That's a good question, what, Mega Man? Yay for lunch.
That's not the Konami code.
It's close enough.
What are you doing? Playing on a Genesis or something? C. What kind of a button is C?
Jeez, those are some, rather piddly little drones. And of course that missed. Keep them away from the elevator. Ow! And that didn't happen. Oh boy.
Space heaters and outlet taps.
Exciting.
was discussing that and a couple of other things with Dorks on Scott Manley.
Why could I haste Iger? Crap, you guys. Come on. There we go. Alpha Team, be advised, we've lost control of the situation. Nice. Ooh. If only I had that much drone control. Pile of corpses. The bodies are all dressed in high-quality ballistic armor. Too late, they're here. Fast response team inbound. Hold until the reinforcements arrive. Yeah. Locked out the reinforcements. That'll make this easier. Ooh, pay data. Nope. Oh, basilisks. Lovely. Chemical research data. Let's get out of there. I don't think I want to open... Well, I don't want to open that containment cell anyway. Leave it alone. There. From the description that your client gave you, this must be your target, the rigger, Thorvald Instad. You can see him waving and pounding on the plastic of his cell door, but from where you're standing, the scene is eerily silent. He looks like he's had a rough go of things. One of his eyes has been blackened, and his lower lip is split wide open. Not particularly surprising given the temperament of his captors. The only incongruous element is his outfit. He's decked out head to toe in patched black riding leathers. A pair of oversized studded combat boots shine in the halogen glare of the cell's lighting panels. From his style of dress, it's obvious that this dwarf is not a corporate employee. He's a Shadowrunner. Iger sighs. I always hate having to kill one of our own. Still, the job's the job.
Yes, it is. All the same, it feels like we're on the wrong side of this one.
Not our call. Not anymore. We took the run. We have to follow through. The door slides open and the stench of stale sweat assaults your nostrils. Instad steps forward, his bloody lips curled into a smile. The soles of his boots squeak on the polished tile floor. Free at last. Thank Christ. His smile widens into a sickly grin. Tar-stained teeth shine wetly in the light. Didn't think I'd warrant a rescue. Whoever sent you, thank him for me. Afraid you're wrong about that. I was sent here to tie up loose ends, namely you. His eyes go wide. He raises his trembling hands in surrender. Whoa there, Chief. I don't know what your client told you. He said that your team botched a run, went loud too early, and got a lot of people killed. Us? We botched the run? That's bullshit, man. We did everything like we were supposed to. Like always. It's that bastard's bad intel that got us hung out to dry.
Sounds familiar.
Please, hear me out. I promise I'll make it worth your while if you do. It couldn't hurt to hear what he has to say. It doesn't matter what excuse he feeds us. Nothing can change what we have to do. A contract's a contract, VL. His hands clasp in front of him in a sign of supplication. You can see the terror in his eyes. Go ahead. Talk. Alright. Okay. So, we go in, right? Me and my team. And we're doing just what the client told us to. Well, the bastard forgot to mention that Pharma had a knight-errant security contract for the place. He told us that there would be little, if any, resistance. So imagine our surprise when a KE response team kicked in the door and unloaded on us. Quit trying to shift the blame. Adapting to unanticipated situations is part of a Shadowrunner's job description. Oh, for Christ's sake, what were we supposed to do? Thanks to Fuchs's bad intel, we left all the heavy ordnance at home. No collateral damage, he told us. Funny how little KE seems to share his concern. Took them all of 2 seconds before they started lobbing grenades at us. You know where I'm coming from, pal. I can see it in your eyes. You've been on jobs that went south before. The only difference between you and me is that you were lucky enough not to get caught. Look, I can see that you're skeptical. I get that. Can't blame you for it either. You don't know me from Adam. But I know one thing you will understand. I'd like to offer you a trade. I've got a little toy hidden away. Managed to stash it before those knight-errant pukes took me. My own design, totally one of a kind. I call it a pain inducer, grade A fun for the runner who has everything, and I guarantee that you'll never find another. You let me live, and it's all yours. I'll put a effing ribbon on it for you. Then I'll disappear. Never bother any of you again. Scout's honor. Even if we consider going off mission, she shoots you a significant glance, which we wouldn't. She turns back to Enstad, staring him down. Did you honestly think that we'd sacrifice our professional integrity and a 15,000 new yen payday for a trinket? He nods slowly. 15, huh? I can match that. You let me live, I'll pay your wage, plus the inducer. Hell, you could even tell your client I'm dead and bill him too. Double your earnings. What do you think about that? How do you come by the 15 grand? I hit a big payday a while back, put the extra cash in my rainy day fund. Trust me, pal, I can pay you the money. You just help me out and I'll transfer it to you myself. We just need to get back to the room where I stashed my PDA. What does this pain inducer do exactly? Induces pain. It's a narrowband microwave projector. Causes debilitating pain in a target and screws with the electrical systems of drones and the like. Think of it like a taser, only easier to use and meaner and a whole lot more fun. Deal. Let's get you out of here. For the same pay and shiny thing? You won't regret it, friend. Promise. Iger holds her tongue, but her body language speaks volumes. Tight lips, rigid pose, slight color in her pale cheeks. You've seen it before. She's furious. Instead, slows to a stop at the window. His eyes are locked on the stack of corpses piled up on the cell floor. My old team. Sorry, sons of bitches. But they never thought I'd be the last man standing. Why not? I'm usually right in the thick of the action. Easy to get shot under those circumstances. If I hadn't been downstairs when KE smashed in, I'd be in that pile with them. In my experience, riggers usually stay away from the thick of combat. They tend to use their drones for that. Well, I ain't that kind of rigger. Drones ain't my thing so much. So, you're a getaway driver? Blitz shoots the rigger a sidelong glance. Vehicle riggers are even less likely to be found on the front lines. Nah, I'm a spider. My specialty is taking over building systems. To do that, I need to find a data tap, and to do that, I need to charge on in with the rest of the team. A security rigger, huh? Don't see too many of those in the shadows. Lose your corporate job? Corporate life? Well, let's just say that it wasn't for me. I needed to work in an environment where my creativity would be rewarded. I think we might have seen some signs of your creativity on the way up here. He shrugs. Might have. Can't say one way or another until you show me what you're talking about. Anyway, we should probably get moving, don't you think? I don't want to be here when more of those knight-errant bastards show up. As you hurry past the scene of carnage in the operating theater, a peculiar smile crosses the rigger's face. He slows to a stop, then points at the dismembered body on the other side of the glass. You said you were a spider, right? Is this your handiwork? He looks you dead in the eye, and for a moment his expression remains unchanged. Then his smile broadens, and a stream of giggles comes pouring out of him. Okay, yeah, you caught me. Red-faced, he wipes a tear from the corner of his eye. This was one of mine. Couldn't tell you how excited I was to see this stuff. Such incredible toys. It was way too good an opportunity to pass up. That doesn't look like a knight-errant employee. Looks more like a lab tech to me. He nods enthusiastically. This was a fun one. Little prick couldn't believe it when I set the autosurgeon on him. He kept trying to get away, but wherever he went, one of my arms was there. Rip! Rip! And all the while he was screaming like a little girl. Eee! Eee! Must have kept at it for, 10, 15 minutes. Eee! It was hilarious, man, I tell you. Glory gives you a significant glance. You can see the disgust in her eyes. I'll point out other stuff when we see it. There was this one guy that I locked in a room with a manipulator arm. He wipes a tear from the corner of his eye. It was effing classic. To hell with the trinket. Letting this bastard go would be wrong, Chief. You know that. Besides which, he lied to us. There was no bad intel. This bastard is the reason why things went south in that run, I'm sure of it. Abruptly, Instad's laughter stops. What is he talking about? We have a deal. If you don't want to kill him, that's fine. Blitzio looks in the eye. Let me do it. I'll help. It's what we should have done in the first place. At that moment, the door behind you slides open. A trio of figures make their way into the room. The leader of the group is an elf with Asian features. He's obviously a vat job. The bands of corded muscle that bulge out under his sleeves have a distinctly store-bought look to them. When he speaks, his voice comes out in a gravelly rumble. My, the intrepid VL with his target in tow. What a surprise. Who the hell are you? Herr Fuchs sent us to check up on you. Given his recent troubles with Shadowrunners, this should not come as a surprise. The company man smiles at Instad. The rigger shrinks back against the wall. No more than your betrayal surprises me. Etiquette Shadowrunner. Kill Instad. Betrayal? No. Instad was never going to leave this building alive. Allow me to demonstrate. Yeah, I'll let Blitz do it. The company man inspects the rigger's corpse, a dispassionate expression on his face. He shifts his gaze back up to you.
It would appear that you might possess some small shred of integrity after all.
It isn't your place to judge my integrity, lapdog. Leave that to Herr Fuchs. The company man pauses for a moment, then nods.
Very well. I will inform Herr Fuchs of the mission's completion and of the circumstances surrounding it. He will decide for himself what to make of this.
Your trip back to the Kreutz Bazaar is an unsettling one. Every time you close your eyes, horrible visions flash through your mind. Bodies torn apart by surgical machines, mouths frozen open in never-ending screams, walls coated floor to ceiling in congealing blood, and through it all the smiling face of Thorvald Instad. You blink, banish the visions. They're behind you now. You're on your way home. I need more drink. I will be right back.
So this is unsettling. 36 in Robinson is temporarily closed.
What? Why?
Museums.
Oh, the Mazios. I thought you meant like the intersection.
That'd make more sense.
I'm not sure it would.
Temporary road closure to fix the road?
I mean, business closure seems more likely than road closure to me, just in general.
Well, they closed it recently for repairs to something.
Oh, they did? Yeah. Well, yeah, I hardly ever leave the house, so I wouldn't know about that. Your PDA rings, and the face of your fixer, Paul Amsel, appears on screen. I have uncovered some terrible information.
The team is assembled in the safe house. Please meet with us there when you are able. Uh-oh. I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, there's there's the Pizza Hut pretty close by. There's the pizza. There's the oh yeah, that's right. There's the Pizza Shuttle.
Wonder if that's still functional.
Can find out. As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Amsel shifts his attention to you. You can see the worry on his face. Viel, I have new information. I'm afraid that the news isn't good. So you said over the comm. Go on, we're listening. 2 years ago, a large shipment of a highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon was designated X-15. I have traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to the Harfeld Manor. Well, that sounds horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before. Back in the service, we called it Doom. I've never run across it in the wild, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer's display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. What does this stuff do exactly? Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth-212 isotope. When introduced into a host, these antibodies bind to surface-level muscle tissue. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. This process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Jesus.
It was designed to kill cancer, wasn't it?
Iger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on the stuff. If that doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but what would a dragon want with this Drek? Nothing good. That much goes without saying. This development worries me, VL. It worries me greatly. If the dragon is stockpiling bioweapons, we've got an even bigger problem than we thought on our hands. There's a moment of silence, then Dietrich speaks up. Well, in my book, this doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if the Firewing's allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be, but we're going to stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is that she is after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amsel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. And that means that you must continue working toward raising Alice's fee. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, VL. When you've acquired the necessary funds and are ready to head back out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we will discuss our next steps.
Uh-oh. The dragon noticed your activities?
I mean, the dragon's known about us since the start. Yeah, the initial run that went south was on the dragon stronghold, and we didn't know it going in.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how the story starts.
That's bad.
Uh-huh. Iger nods. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backward glance at Glory. If any of this has had an impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory. Let's go.
I guess a formal letter of apology wouldn't help.
No. Not with Firewing.
Sorry, wouldn't have taken that job if we
Firewing isn't like the other dragons.
She's a jerk.
Well, she's been thought dead for the last, 30 or 40 years. Something like that. And the more we uncover about her, the more it seems like she's some sort of radiation ghost? Maybe? So, radioactive ghost dragon is what we're dealing with? Bent on destruction?
Not the eyes.
I mean, I suppose the radiation ghost dragons are, but...
They're unusually angry.
What you need?
Radiation.
What you need, boss? Back when we took on Humanus, you said that you fought in the Night of Rage. I'd like to hear more about that. He nods, then fishes in his jacket pocket for his flask. Alright, boss. We can talk about it. So, I already mentioned that Berlin's punks and anarchists joined forces to fight off the racists, right? And after a long, bloody fight, we beat them. What I didn't mention is how I figured into all of this. I'm an anarchist at heart, Always have been. But at the time, I fit squarely into the punk camp. I was 32 at the time. Messerkampf was still touring, not as much as we did when we were kids, but we had a following. I guess I was sort of an elder statesman for the scene. When we rallied to fight the racists, my followers came along for the ride. Bunch of young kids all full of piss and vinegar and the immortality of youth. I was full of that good old Dragon Slayer spirit, pissed off and itching for a fight. And so, I led those kids into the fray. They waded into the riot right alongside me, yelling and screaming with their fists in the air. I don't remember a whole lot of the fight itself, boss, but I do remember the aftermath. A lot of the kids that followed me had grown up listening to my music. They had all of my attitude, VL, but none of them had my magic. And youthful enthusiasm is no defense against a knife or a handgun. I left the punk scene for all of the reasons I told you, boss. But there was a bigger reason, and I saw it in those kids' broken bodies. This road that I'm on, it leads to the grave. I've got the power to make it a leisurely trip, but make no mistake, that is where I'm headed. Those kids tried to follow in my footsteps, and they wound up sprinting ahead of me instead. Better for me to stay out of the public eye and stick to the shadows. My stint as a role model was ill-advised. Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. It's gonna take some time. Have you ever heard of an organization called The Lodge? Lodge? Boss. Do you mean the Black Lodge? I don't know, maybe. Lodge was all that I heard. Let me describe him to you, and you can tell me if what I'm saying fits. Shadowy, powerful, secretive as hell, with deep pockets and a penchant for hiding the truth. They conduct all of their business through dupes and go-betweens. That sound about right? That's them in a nutshell, yeah. Well, if it's them, and whoever you're talking about I ain't saying it is, then I'd advise you to stay away from them. Stay far, far away. And whatever you do, don't take their money. If you do, they'll own you. I'll keep that in mind. Tell me what else you've heard about them. Well, the story is that the Black Lodge is the mother of all conspiracies. Supposedly, they've been around for hundreds of years, and they've been practicing magic since well before the Awakening. Impossible, I know, but I believe it. You ever heard of the Masons, the Knights Templar, the Bavarian Illuminati? They were all puppets of the Black Lodge. None of them knew who they were working for, but the Lodge was there pulling the strings. They always have been, and they still are today. That's the story. Practicing magic since before the Awakening? That's ridiculous. I don't know what world you live in, boss, but in my world, ridiculous things happen every day. Anyway, that's the story. Believe it or don't, your choice. You already know what I think. Have you put any thought into what I said earlier? Yeah, boss, I have. It's an interesting idea, but there are risks. I'm thinking that this might not be the best of times to approach him about it. He's the source of my magic, remember. If our discussion turned into an argument, he could take all of that magic back in a heartbeat, and then where would we be? I can't justify the risk of you losing your magic, not right now. Let's hold off on this until after we've gotten ourselves out of the mess we're already in. Yeah, boss, my thoughts exactly. Let's just worry about the task in front of us for now. You don't need to concern yourself about me anyhow. I'll be fine. Any thoughts about that last run you'd like to share? Hell of a thing, wasn't it? That run made me glad I don't have to spend a lot of time in hospitals, I'll tell you that much. There wasn't a single aspect of that building that didn't make me feel uneasy. Anyway, that sick bastard of a rigger is dead, and we got paid. Feels like a win to me. Viel, greetings. Whew. Too many rough voices. Amsel peers at you through a battered old pair of wire-rimmed glasses. There's something gentle about the man, with his silver hair and his tweed jacket. He looks more like an aging art history professor than he does like a criminal go-between. Is there something that I can do for you? Got a question for you about the Kreuzbazaar. Oh, no. That's all old info. Pet the dog. Woof. Iger glances up from her PDA at the sound of your approach. Viel, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried, and in a big way. Talk to me, Iger. If something's put you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so that you can look at the screen. This. The image that greets you is a holopic of a rail-thin orc with jet black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in his field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of the opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs. All of the groundwork that a syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, Viel, and my contact spotted him in Schottenest. That's a little too close to the Kreuzbazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town that he was softening up after the Syndicate moved in. Viel, I have to stop him, before it's too late. What happened to that town, it can't be allowed to happen again in Schottenest. Agreed. Do you know who he's working for now? The safest bet would be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Got any examples? Well, I know for a fact that he's worked for mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put in a lot of time with the Lobachevsky syndicate. He's taken contracts with the Triads as well. My contacts tell me that he's done a few jobs for Taminus. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PA for a long moment. So, long story short, I'm going to have to step out for a mission or two. I know how important it is that we resolve the Feuerschwinge situation. I get it, but I can't just sit back and let this happen. I won't. If the Kreuzbazaar is at risk, this is too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you. End of story. All right, fearless leader. You're right, I could use the help. But the others, they can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job, 2 people max. You sure you're prepared for this? If you can't hold up your end, I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me, I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Der Weinkeller. I've got a contact who's going to join us there, and he can help us figure out our next step.
Maybe in the wine cellar.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting drunk at Al.
That's just the name of the local bar. Glory favors you with a weak smile, her expression cautious. You're suddenly aware of how very small she is. Hoi, Viel. I've got to admit, I've been dreading this. So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you here to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if you were. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. Not great. Struggling. About how you'd expect. We left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story, and I have a question for you. Yeah? What's that? You've escaped from Harrow, but he's still out there. If you're looking to atone for your past, don't you think that shutting him down would be a good place to start? She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes. I've been thinking about this for a long time, Viel. And every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm going to need your help. I'm glad we're on the same page. Or rather, that's the idea. All right. If we're going to do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place. Lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then there's also Harrow to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it. And if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else, where we can't find him. And all of this will have been for nothing. We're likely to run into other complications as well, so I think that we need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids, or take down Harrow? I don't think that we can manage both.
I was about to say yes, but she got me off there.
Well, between the two, as much as I want to save everybody, we wipe out the cult starting with Harrow. As long as he's alive, he can just start all of this over again. We'll save any cultists that we can, but the ones that are too far gone will have to be put down. Harrow needs to die. I don't want any other kids hurt or killed, but Harrow, that bastard has to pay for what he did to me. She stops as if suddenly unsure of herself. A moment later, newfound confidence seems to seize her. She looks to you, and there's fire in her eyes. He has to pay for what he did to all of us. I won't let this happen again. He needs to die. You're damned right he does. Meet me at the van when you're ready to go. It's a long drive from here to Schonsbuch. Or Schonsbuch. Schonsbuch. Yeah.
I don't like the game's choice of words there.
What?
There's fire in her eyes. You're damn right. I don't like the game's choice of words right there.
Considering. Yeah. She nods. I'll see you there. Hey, Remy. Aw, sweet girl. Good, Remy. Sweetie Fluff. How about Remy? Don't just half stand there. Though that is awfully cute. 2 unread messages. Okay, Shadowland BBS. Post pay data for sale. Post the Shara Farming AG chemical research data. Sweet Remy. Ow!
Sweet pointy Remy.
It was a love bite.
Yeah, the forward points count as points.
Yeah. Thread, please help me find my daughter. Please help me find my daughter. She ran away from home. She is human, in her early 20s, with short blonde hair and a data jack. She was last seen wearing a light blue dress. Worried Mother 004. This is not exactly the place to be looking for missing kids. How did you even get in here? I paid good money to get on here. I was told you people could help. If you've got the Nuya and you came to the right place, I sent you a number that you can reach me at. The old help me find my missing kid routine, a classic. My money is on escaped wage slave. Make sure you do your homework, Ruby. Thread, Corp Tracers. Anyone have a good backup plan for when you get stuck with a tracer? Barely managed to bug out of my apartment after a Corp hit squad came knocking. Lesson learned, pat yourself down a couple of times and make sure you don't have a tail. But if I miss something, I'd rather keep my safe houses, you know, safe. I've had good luck with RF blockers. I have a jamming grid set up near my safe house. It projects any signals to a few miles away where I've got some cameras placed. So when someone shows up there, I know they were trying to find me. Then I do a thorough sweep to find the tracker. Sharp. How long does that go on before they give up? Usually rule of threes. I keep reprojecting the signal to different locations. In my experience, they give up after the third one is a dead end and stop listening to that RF signal. Funny. One last DVD. The screen flickers to life, and Malit's face appears. She wears a plastic smile. Aw, sweet Remy. Headbutting me in the shoulder. Just purring. Kitty. Ow!
That felt inevitable.
Yeah.
Your affection nips have gotten a bit more brazen over the years.
Yeah, that one was kind of grabby.
Yeah, she's...
Like she pinched and pulled.
It's less of the classic kitty knit and more of a grab and pull. I don't know why she does that.
Hoy again, VL. Well, I've recovered one last DVD for you, but I'm afraid that's all you're gonna get. You might as well use the rest as coasters. They're all beyond repair. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you'll find the disc that I salvaged. She pauses, a slight frown crosses her face. To be completely honest, that was a lie. To recover this last disc, I was forced to subcontract. Shrotty is still a brute of a man. I am unimpressed with his manner, and his poor hygiene disgusts me, but he is very good with old things such as this. All credit where it's due. The message ends and the image fades. You find yourself back at your inbox. Still alive. Yana to VL. I guess that I should thank you. You got me out of that horrible job alive. I don't think I could have made it on my own. What happened on that run took everything else away from me, but at least I'm still breathing. The lodge turned me into a killer, VL. That gnaws at my guts every minute of every day, and I still can't sleep at night. Innocent people, normal people, died because of what I did. And you know why they made me do it? Because they could. I don't know, maybe this doesn't bother you. You're a Shadowrunner after all. You kill people all the time, just another day at the office, huh? Well, I'm not like you. I can't just kill people on the job and forget about it the next day. This is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
That poor dwarf girl.
Yeah. I don't know how to live like this, but it's still better than not living at all. That's what I keep telling myself. And so I figured that I might as well tell it to you, too. Jay.
Kid, you didn't know what you were doing.
No.
You're not culpable. Go hug that cat.
Go hug that cat. Claim payment for the Mark 6 prototype extraction. Hadn't done that yet. You submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few moments later, a message pops onto the screen. Herr Schmidt to VL. To call your work unsatisfactory would be an understatement. When I said that we wanted the prototype, it should have gone without saying that we wanted it intact and operational. You technically fulfilled the terms of our agreement, so you will get paid, but don't ever expect to work for us again. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Your payment details. Payment from client, $22,500. Deductions for crew salary, $6,000. Ammunition and resupply costs, $1,500. Automatic deduction for Alice funds, $11,250. Remainder sent to VL's account, $3,750. Claim payment for the pharma cleanup job. Herr Fuchs to VL. No sense mincing words. Your performance was satisfactory at best. Your fee will be transferred immediately. Enjoy it while it lasts, because you'll never work for us again. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Your payment details.
Boy, you keep losing bad clients.
Yeah, no kidding. Payment from client, $15,000. Deductions for crew salary, $4,000. Ammunition and resupply costs, $1,000. Automatic deduction for Alice funds, $7,500. Remainder sent to VL's account, $2,500. Payment transfer complete. View all pending and active jobs. Ah, the Aztec sabotage run. Okay. How's the Alice fund looking? Oh, only 10,000 to go.
Yeah, it kind of smells like you are approaching the end game, because I'm hearing a number of quest hooks for those classic team member backstory side quests.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once you're bringing closure to the backstories of your team, that's when you know the story is coming to a close.
Well, I mean, I I did Dietrich's quite some time ago. I mean, that was less backstory and more just his nephew was in a bad spot, but that served the same purpose, basically.
Yeah, but like, once the team member backstory quests start pouring in,
Yeah.
that's the signal that you're about to have a difficulty spike, probably hit the last twist, and then pull into the end game.
Hold on a sec. What is that sound? Oh, that might just be my computer.
It does go work.
Yeah. It's just, for whatever reason, the mechanical noise was a bit stronger. And it's faded again. So. Or maybe there was just something else nearby that, due to acoustics, I could not discern the difference. The media tray of the DVD player slides out of its battered plastic case. Did I watch the third one yet? Track 1. 2042-0805. I was thinking about Adrian today. Not as he was when he disappeared, not as the fabled Dragon Slayer or the big-time CEO of Deal Defense. I was thinking about when we were kids. Well, I was always more of a kid than he was, of course. He's 15 years older than me. In a way, he was more like a parent than a brother. Winters pauses. His gaze drops to an invisible point on the table in front of him. So I was thinking about this time when we were on holiday. Our parents took us out to the island of Pol to enjoy the beach. I must have been about 5 years old. Adrian was 20. It'd be his last family vacation with us. A year later, he'd begin his meteoric rise to fame and fortune. Excuse me. But on this trip, he was my brother. And when I fell out of the little paddle boat that our parents rented and started sinking fast into the Baltic, he was the one who dove in to rescue me. You saved my life that day, Adrian. I love you forever for that. And I will find you. I owe you that much. (2049-0606) Found an old news article that mentions Adrian from way back in 2036. It was printed in a financial magazine called Das Finanzwesen. One of those chic print-based mags that they produced for the retro crowd. There aren't any clues in here, but it's good to see someone else acknowledge his existence. Remy, stop that. He clicks an off-screen button and the image of Winters disappears. It is replaced by a digital scan of a magazine page. SK stock suffers in post-buyout brain drain, November 12, 2039. In the aftermath of the Dragon Luftwehr's hostile takeover of Sederkrupp, Sederkrupp Schwerindustrie Gesellschaft, SKI, a continuing brain drain of high-level executives is causing ongoing worry among company shareholders. The company's stock took a major hit when Luftwehr deposed former CEO Wilhelmina Graf-Benoit last August. 3 months later, long-held power positions within the SKI empire continue to empty as the Dragon consolidates his power base. The most recent casualties of Luftwehr's takeover include Alexandra Kobayashi, former COO of Seder Munitions, Matthaus Donor, former treasurer of Rohr Datafax, and Werner Harding, former CEO of Deal Defense. Harding stepped into the role to replace Dr. Adrian Vauclair, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances 2 years ago. Winter's face winks back onto the screen. So there you have it. That's what they had to say about Adrian a mere 2 years after his disappearance. My brother. The footnote. While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with a meaningless stream of text. It's probably the same garbled text that it always gives. The text disappears and you find yourself back at the menu screen. Track 4. Yep, same garble text. Track 5. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grinds in its tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. From the desk of Werner Harding, Dr. Vauclair, 2034-09-10. It is my sad duty to inform you that by unanimous vote of the Aufsichtsrat, your position as CEO of Deal Defense will be terminated at the end of this calendar month. Your continued misallocation of company funds to pursue personal agendas cannot and will not be tolerated any longer. The Supervisory Board is not unsympathetic to your mental state. The trauma that you endured during your pursuit of the dragon Feuerschwinge must have been enormous. But your continuing obsession with the dragon, the dead dragon, I might add, has proven a negative influence on this company and an unjustified drain on company resources. The board wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. We have prepared a generous severance package to assist you in this time of transition. If there is anything more that we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. Werner Harding. The disc spins down, and you find yourself sitting at the main menu. Now the fourth DVD. Play track 1. Timestamp on the video reads 2050-04-28. This is it. The interview. Took some digging to find it, but here it is. My big brother back in his prime. The note disappears, and for a moment the screen goes blank. Suddenly, an image of a news correspondent flashes onto the screen, accompanied by a brief orchestral flourish. A timestamp in the upper right corner of the screen reveals the date, August 22nd, 2012. Thank you for joining us. We are coming to you live from the ruins of Sangerhausen, the 5th Harz Mountain town to be sacked by the dragon Feuerschwinge. Standing by my side is the head of Deal Defense, Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Dr. Vauclair has been hailed as a leader in the effort to bring down Feuerschwinge and end her reign of terror. Dr. Vauclair, tell us about your efforts to bring down the dragon. Killing the monster has proven difficult, to say the least. Her speed and maneuverability in the air are extraordinary. Her scales repel small arms fire, and her breath can melt steel. Our R&D teams have been working around the clock to devise a weapon capable of downing the beast. In the interim, we are providing material support for the Luftwaffe's attempt to shoot her down via conventional means. Herr Vauclair, why are you directing Deal Defense's energies to the killing of Feuerschwinge? Are there corporate interests at play in this? Corporate interests? No, this is a matter of human interest. Innocent lives are being extinguished at an appalling rate. I am in a position to help put an end to the slaughter, and so I must. It really is that simple. Dr. Vauclair, you must understand my skepticism. Our viewers aren't looking for a PR statement. They come to us for the truth. I'm afraid that I don't have time to go back and forth on this. Your viewers can think whatever they wish. My concern is in helping the people affected by this tragedy. In that case, Dr. Vauclair, I thank you for sharing your valuable time with us. You're very welcome. To the viewers at home, stay safe and watch the skies. Salvation is coming. I promise. Again, that was Dr. Adrian Vauclair, CEO of Deal Defense. Dr. Vauclair is the chief architect of the military's current plan to bring down the dragon Feuerschwinge. Stay tuned for more late-breaking news on the battle for the Heart's Mountains. We'll be right back. With that, the video comes to an end. You find yourself dumped back to the menu screen. The display goes blank for a moment, then the face of Green Winters winks onto the screen. There's a look of astonishment on his face. The timestamp on the video reads 2054-11-17. Holy shit. I just stumbled onto some of Adrian's old lab notes. I'm not going to say how I came across these. Someone might get hurt if the wrong people watch this. But I've checked them against some of Adrian's old handwriting samples, and they're legitimate. Holy shit, this is big. Alright, okay. Back up. Slow down. Breathe. Okay. So, these notes, they pretty much confirm something that I'd always suspected. The Luftwaffe didn't shoot down Feuerschwinge. I mean, they tried. They pumped thousands of rounds into the air around her, and they lobbed rockets at her for months, lost a lot of attack helicopters and fighter craft in the process. But none of those things were responsible for taking her down. The Dragonfall was caused by an experimental warhead, one that Adrian and his Deal Defense think tank designed. I don't understand the science of it, not even a little bit, but from what I can piece together, it looks like they designed some sort of chemical radiological agent that acts on the metagene. I don't think that they fully understood what they were doing. It was 2012 after all. I mean, the process worked, but I don't know if they understood why it worked. Anyway, when a warhead full of this stuff comes into contact with a dual-natured creature, like a dragon, say, it drives a wedge between that creature's physical and astral forms. The body gets put into a sort of hibernation state, and the spirit is forced out. It also looks like this process can maintain that state of separation indefinitely, and that's a pretty horrifying thought. A discorporated body's supposed to die in a few hours. I've heard horror stories about ghost-walking mages getting trapped in astral space, unable to rejoin with their meat. I heard they went crazy from the pain. If what I'm reading is accurate, it's entirely possible that Feuerschwinge has been trapped outside of her body for over 40 years. Winters pushes his chair back and slaps the table in front of him. This is why Adrian was always so cagey about the subject of Feuerschwinge after the Dragonfall. He knew for a fact that she was alive, even if only technically. Her body crashed down into the SOX, sure, but she wasn't dead. The government wouldn't let Adrian tell the public about any of this, of course. It'd interfere with the lie that they were feeding us, that the Firewing was dead and that everyone was safe and that people should stop hiding in their basements and get back to work again. But privately, he always said that she was still out there, somewhere deep in the SOX. I'd always thought that he was paranoid, but I was wrong. He knew. So, what does all of this mean? It means that the stories I got from that ghost rat suddenly sound a lot more plausible. It means that Feuerschwinge is definitely alive, and that Adrian's disappearance is unquestionably tied to her survival. It also means that Germany is in deep shit, because if Feuerschwinge is still alive, it's only a matter of time before she rears her ugly head again. Remy.
This time she'll be very, very angry.
Like she wasn't before.
I'm not sure if she was angry before or just in a conquering mood.
I mean, you know.
Sounds like she was trying to take some out to make a nest or something. And there's some inconvenient humanoid villages, towns, and cities on those mountains.
Poop.
But Yeah, if she comes back, it's gonna be personal now.
Mm-hmm.
40 years of unbearable pain, apparently.
She's gonna go all Nidhogg on us.
She's probably insane now. Insane and driven by revenge. Oh no. That's exactly Nidhogg.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough for one night. I'm gonna go get drunk. The screen abruptly goes black as the video cuts off. A few moments later, you find yourself returned to the menu screen. The DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill whining sound. Green Winter's face appears on the screen. He looks younger than you've ever seen him, but from the way he's carrying himself, he's clearly drunk. The timestamp on the video reads 2033-5:15. Look, Adrian, I understand you. Lord knows I do. But you've got to drop this dragon fixation. People are starting to talk. There's a camera cut, and you find yourself looking at a young, handsome Dr. Adrian Vauclair. He wears a slight smile on his face. Oh, they're talking, are they? What a terrible shame. Damn it, Adrian, this is serious. You're a public figure. You could lose everything if you don't keep these ridiculous fairy tales to yourself. Remy, stop. Hermie, my theories are not, as you call them, fairy tales. Dragons are real. I saved Germany from one. Have you forgotten? No, of course not. Everyone knows that you killed the Firewing. Stopped, not killed. Fine, stopped, whatever. Winters swipes a bottle off the table in front of him, drains it, and drops it to the floor. Call it whatever you want, but Adrian, you're the only one. Remy, stop.
You're the only one that can stop the house cat.
Thank you. You're the only one who's still this obsessed with the damned things. There aren't that many of them, and they're not taking over the world.
Not directly, anyway.
Vauclair's voice is quiet, soft. Such is the cry of the cancer patient, unaware of what's killing him. I'm fine, not to worry, I'll smoke another cigarette, what's the harm? He doesn't see what's happening, but he winds up dead all the same. Winter snorts. Now you're just being maudlin. Look, Adrian. Vauclair shakes his head. His smile has disappeared. You mark my words, Hermie. Within 5 years, corporations, even countries, will fall to these creatures. And the worst part is, nobody will care. Oh, people will tut-tut about it. There may be a protest or two, but nobody will actually do anything to stop them. The immortal, all-powerful, utterly pitiless reptiles will seize more and more of our power, wealth, and territory. And we foolish, short-sighted mortals will never get it back. Green Winters chuckles uncomfortably, raises his hands in the air in a supplicating gesture. Come now, Adrian. Vauclair talks over his brother's interruption. We could solve the problem, of course, but we as a species are unwilling to invest our energy into problems that aren't staring us right in the face. As it was with climate change, so it is with dragons. I've accepted that. But you can't ask me to stop caring about it.
I don't know why that line's so funny.
Screenshotting that because that is good.
Oh no.
Winters shakes his head. You're hopeless, Adrian. Fine, by all means, keep caring. Just keep your conspiracy theories to yourself. I'm telling you this for your own sake. Vauclair sighs. He looks incredibly tired. Yes, Hermie, you're right, of course. I mustn't jeopardize my credibility with the masses. Winter's expression turns serious. His voice lowers. It's not just your credibility that I'm worried about. Talk is talk, but sometimes I worry that you're really gonna go back to the SOX. Vauclair's tone softens again. Hermie, Winters cuts his brother off. A new intensity burns in his voice. Please, big brother, just drop all of this. Stop hunting the Fire Wing and start living your life again. If you won't do it for yourself, then for Christ's sake, do it for me. Vauclair nods, then looks away from the screen. All right, Hermie. I'll try. The image cuts to static and you find yourself back at the menu screen. Track 4. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grinds in its tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. Meet and mate, singles dating profile. User, Jolly Green Winters. Last active, 1/15/54. Sex, M. Metatype, human. Ethnicity, Caucasian. Body type, muscular. Age, 50. Looking for F, H-E-D. H-E-D? Human, elf, dwarf, I guess? Athletic, 25 to 30. I'm a fun-loving guy who's also a great listener. I love hiking, clubbing, and all kinds of pets. I'm looking for a cute, funny, adventurous girl who's down to party. I don't respond to profiles without pics. No orcs, no trolls. Sorry, ladies. The disc rattles again, and you find yourself sitting at the main menu. Eject. That's an anticlimactic ending to those. I need more to drink. I'll be right back. One look at Blitz's face is enough to tell you that something is gnawing at him. He stands beside his table, playing with a coffee spoon. Hoi, Viel. What you need? What's going on, Blitz? Well, Chief, I hate to admit it, but I might be in a little bit of trouble here. What sort of trouble? Well, you remember those creditors I told you about? The ones who loaned me all of that money? Yeah, well, as it turns out, some of them are a little less forgiving than I thought they were. Keep talking. Well, one in particular seems to have taken things kinda personally. How personally are we talking here? I got a package in the mail. It had somebody's thumbs in it. Thumbs? Yeah, thumbs. They came in a cigar box, packed in salt. I have no idea who they belonged to. I'm pretty sure that they're meant to convey some sort of message. I think that's a pretty safe bet. I don't want to lose my thumbs, Chief. I like my thumbs. I think that I need to pay this guy back. Luckily, I've got a plan. I know how to get myself out of hot water with Meat Grinder. I've got it all specced out. Let me get this straight. You took a loan from somebody named Meat Grinder. Hey, Chief, come on. I feel bad enough about this already. There's no need to rub it in. Anyway, like I was saying, I can make it all right again. But I'll need your help to do it. I'm listening. Well, there's this group out in Dragonfall. They call themselves the Landenberg Ring. They're a financial crime organization, and there's a lot of bad blood between them and Meat Grinder's operation. Anyway, back when I was running with Schwarzerherzen, I laid out the groundwork for a hit on the Landberg Ring. I was never able to make good on it, though. For some reason, none of the other gangers ever volunteered to help out. With your help, I could steal enough money from them to cover my debt and get myself back into Meat Grinder's good graces in the process. So what do you think? A quick run, just you and me, with me in the Matrix and you as my man on the ground. We hit them, satisfy my debt, and laugh about it on our way back home. Sound like a plan? Alright, Blitz, but in the future you need to be more upfront with me about things like this. No problem, Chief. Not a problem at all. You can count on me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some last-minute stuff to take care of before we get started. Oh, and Viel? Thanks. No sweat, Blitz. Meet you at the U-Bahn? Oh, no, not as such, Chief. I won't be physically going to Dragonfall. I've seen enough of that place for one lifetime. I'll be checking in from a terminal that I set up here in the Kreutz Bazaar. Whoa, 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 no way. If you want my help, you have to come with me. Hmm. Great. Okay, well, I guess that I'll send you a comm when I get there. Sounds good, Chief. Thanks again. I can't bring more people with me on that? I'm just browsing, don't mind me. Hey, Cammy. She grins at you, all spark and mischief. Hey there! How've you been? It could be worse. Can't it always? Be well, mein Freund. Stay safe. Hey, Altug. What is the up? Welcome back, Honor Defendim. How may I serve you? Just killing time. I'll be going now. Yeah, nothing there. Oh, hey, I didn't notice that he had a piano. Hey, Absinthe. As you approach the counter, you find Absinthe reading a small, soy-calf-stained booklet. The pages are old and weathered. Yell, pleasure as always. What can I do for you? You're looking to buy some magic, and then you'll want to talk to Algernon. He's just around the corner. Be well, Orc. Hey, Al. Call you Betty, Betty, when you call me, you can call me Al. You can call me Al. Do 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 do. Ba da ba ba. Ba da ba ba da. You never even called me by my name. Okay, conjuring isn't high enough for that either, so I'll be done there for now. I've got a good chunk of money on me. Let's tip the dancer here. I don't really have much use for weapons since my combat skills, my non-magical combat skills are kind of crap. I don't really use combat stims much. Probably stand to restock my medical supplies, though. Yeah, more trauma kits, more med kits. Yeah, that'll do. Kreuzberg Bibliothek. Feinkostgeschäft. Friseur. Or Friseur. Nothing to do with the MF and phone booth. Okay, so here we are at Der Weinkeller. What's up with you, Lucky Strike? Hey, I don't mean to be rude, but this is my off time. I intend to spend it smoking and drinking myself into a stupor, not talking. If you want to chat later, we'll chat. For now, give me some breathing room. Okay, fair enough. Bannock. This dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Iger through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down his mug of soy calf. On the edge of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in a haze of cigarette smoke. Hoi, Iger. Been a long time. He taps a thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keeping busy? You could say that. Fieldus is Bannock. He's a friend. Dwarf scoffs. I don't know if I'd go that far. Nothing personally, understand. If I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. Solitary life is cleaner. Professional acquaintance, then. The dwarf nods. Better. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? Let's. We need intel on the engineer. Where he's staying, who he's working for, how long he's been in Shotton. Whatever you've got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth, and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse. And of course, I'll give you what I can, but I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. The dwarf nods, then fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. All right. What you're looking at is the northwest quadrant of Shotton. This is gang territory, all of it. These days, the whole Keats is being run by Rambach. I'm surprised that there's enough of them left to hold much of anything. I'd heard that they'd taken a hit a little while back. That was you, huh? Well, good on you. But you should know they're still alive and well, and that the guy who took over gang leadership is a real piece of work. If anything, they're worse than they were before. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of a building. This warehouse right here is Rambach HQ, and that's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet, and they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you this, but the last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and Rambach. No good could come from that. Can't argue with that. Now, I can tell you who the engineer is I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. But what I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit-down with him. Bannock reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who would kill you for what's in that bag. You gonna tell us what it is, or do we have to guess? He lowers his voice to a soft whisper. You have to lean in to hear him clearly. What you're gonna find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It has a rubberized grip and a hair trigger, and it's good for one shot. Is it a stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. I had it shipped here at great personal expense from a supermax prison in the UCAS. He traces a twirl in the air with the fork. The warden owed me a favor. Iger whistles appreciatively. Very nice, Bannock. That should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. I wouldn't be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. The engineer is rocking a Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless you can shut it down, there's no way in hell you're going to catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same thing as broken. The dwarf shovels another heaping forkful of pie into his mouth. He chews thoughtfully. Until then, his life will be a living hell, and I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out, of his comfort zone, the better. That's handy. Making people uncomfortable is my specialty. Sounds like we have a plan. Iger nods. Sounds that way. Thanks, Bannock. We'll let you know how things work out. Don't bother. I'll be watching. Lane looks to have mostly recovered from whatever happened the other day. A few butterfly stitches keep closed the lacerations on his face, and his damaged prosthetic looks to be functioning normally once again. And what brings you around today? I want to talk about what happened the other day. The old soldier glowers, but given his physical handicaps and his recent injuries, he hardly makes for an intimidating figure, troll size notwithstanding. Hang my hoop. I'm not a child, man. I'm not helpless. And even if I was, leave me to whatever fate I've earned. What did they want? He wanted to dissuade me from lending my voice or experience to any pro-metahuman parties. I tried to talk him down, tried to explain my fighting days are done, but he wouldn't believe me. Bastard made a liar of me when I beat him with my crutch. Who was it? Someone who heard an unfounded rumor. A rumor about me joining up with Orc, presumed favorite polyclub among us trogs. Maybe he was Humanus, or maybe just another Flux fanatic who thought the balance of power would be upset by me joining up with Orc. I don't know, and I don't care. I just want to be left alone. Will they be back? Not if they know what's good for them. Last time they caught me alone taking a shortcut through an alley. I won't make that mistake again. I'm sticking close to home, and close to Samuel and his people. They won't shy away from a fight. All right, I'll leave it at that for now. I'd like to hear more about your part in the Euro Wars. Lane sighs, his weight settling on creaking legs. Problem with a tight-knit community like the Kreutz Bazaar is that you can't escape who you are. Fine, you want to hear it, I'll tell it. The old troll leans heavy on his crutch and takes a steadying breath. I was a colonel in the Finnish army. During the First Euro War, the Jaeger Brigade was mine. For decades, we'd used ATVs, Nasus and Bandwagens, Nasus and Bandwagens mostly, slow, lumbering things, but built for the snows of the Lapland. I was the one who changed all that, moving us over to T-Birds. I made us fast and nimble. The Russians were still slow, and though they had us outnumbered and outgunned, we could run circles around them. I'm not sure when, and I'm not sure who, but the comparison was made to Rommel. Arctic Fox followed soon thereafter. But I don't celebrate the title. Far too many young soldiers died under the command of the Arctic Fox. This is why some ask me to fight, and this is why I refuse. I won't take up any more of your time. And it is about 5, so I should probably be signing off for now.
But I will be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for Thursday Thanatopsis, where we will be continuing Deadlight. Then, of course, Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern is Stone of Graves, where I have not decided what I'll be spending most of the night on, but at the very least I will be starting the night by seeing what the full moon ending of White Knight is, since, yeah, Halloween is a full moon, and the game actually pays attention to the lunar cycles, and it affects how the game ends. So that's interesting. And holding court will happen, hopefully, more often. It has been unusual lately for me to be awake at this hour, and I hope to be awake during the day more frequently. But I am definitely not out of the woods yet as far as sleep schedule goes. If it happens, it'll be a weekday afternoon, and I'll be continuing Shadowrun Dragonfall here. But until then, thanks again, and I hope to see you all tonight, in fact. Later, y'all.